So today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about how to climb the steep EDI learning curve for new EDI teams. One of the insights that I want to give people is, listen, when I learned this over 27 years ago, it was trial by fire, as they used to call it. So I was a programmer brought in, moved over to EDI support, uh, hence the name that I chose when I started the business 8 years ago. I was moved into organizations. I was in the support department handling EDI. I had to learn EDI. I also had to learn ACH, AIA, union automation, all kinds of fun stuff with integration into Sage 100, 500. Back then it was Mass 90, Mass 200. But needless to say, so there really wasn't any services, any college education, any of that for learning EDI. So just know I've been in your position if you're trying to learn EDI. The nice thing now is you have a lot of resources. You have a lot of information. We try to put a lot of information out on the YouTube channel. We have a lot of information that we put out on LinkedIn. We have a lot of information that we share on Discord. And I'm going to share some other spots of where you can learn EDI. And just know, when I say EDI, I also mean that API is encompassed in EDI. It's a subset in my mind, the way that I look at things. EDI is not just X12 or EDIFACT or Tradecoms or VDA or any of those things, UCS. It encompasses all of that because it's moving data. It's electronic data interchange. It's EDI. So I just wanted to share that. Now, API, could you have learned that in some of your schools? Yes. Yes, schooling is teaching about API and how that interacts from a standpoint. So we're going to get into a couple different pieces as to the learning curve for learning EDI. You know, your EDI service provider implemented the EDI software. You're now live and ready to be trained on their platform. We'll talk about the best practices of post-implementation strategies and things to learn. Okay, so again, we always have to remember that there's different means of EDI. There's totally outsourced. There's on-prem, where you're handling it in-house, as they call it. Some people refer to it as, you know, the outsourced as a managed. So are they just managing the platform, which means they're keeping the software up and running for you to actually go in and develop and set up trading partners and do all of those things? Is it a hybrid management where essentially they'll set up everything in their platform and then they'll have you go in and have to support it after the fact? And sometimes think of it this way. They might not do things and implement things the way that you would if you've ever done EDI before. If you have never done EDI, then of course you're going to hopefully hire a company or individual that can lead you down that pathway of being set up correctly. So what do most EDI providers typically cover, and what they don't? You know, the standard onboarding process for putting somebody onto a system, a new customer, a new client onto their particular system, is they will typically see what your knowledge is, see what your team exists, see what your team can handle. And other providers will just throw you at the wolves. They'll just say, oh, here's the platform. You figure it out. Oh, we have all this online training. You can read through our documentation and you can pay for our training. And typically their training is generic. It's not exactly how you would utilize the system. It's just a general overview of the system and its capabilities and taking you through how to set up a trading partner, how to do mapping, how to do those type of things. Depending on what type of system, what type of provider you're using, what type of platform you're using. Okay. A lot of providers that are out there are doing more of a general type training. They're not doing it to your implementation. So you want to find that out. You want to understand, are you teaching me to what you implemented? Or are we having somebody else that's never been even a part of our project, has no clue who our company is, and they are being brought in because they're the standard trainer? You got to figure that out. You got to ask those questions. You got to understand. And you also need to make sure that there's no misalignment between the EDI provider and your internal team needs. What does your internal team need? Does your internal team ever deal with API and EDI? Do they have any history in there? Have you ever done it? What's your skill sets? All of those things. You have to be upfront and honest. And if you have a provider that just basically throws you at the wolves, understand that's not a good spot to be in, where they're having you learn online, read the manuals, do all of those things. It's not going to get you up to speed. And you're going to get a lot of information thrown at you down that pathway. As somebody that's been in this as long as I have, if somebody throws me a brand new EDI platform, I can navigate and typically figure out my way through it, but it's going to take me time because I'm used to certain things. I'm used to areas of setting things up. I'm used to all of those. So understand what your strengths and your weaknesses are and state them to your provider and say, how are you going to cover X, Y, and Z? The reason that the EDI learning curve is so steep is because people speak in acronyms, there's jargon, there's technical complexities for non-technical teams. So when you're setting up, for an example, when you're setting up AS2, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to AS2. AS2 is a communication where one system network is pushing to another network, pushing data. Well, there's firewalls involved. There's your internet that's involved. There may be some server settings for DNS. There's all kinds of different things that are involved with all of these setups. So do you have any background in the IT, in the networking, in setting up firewalls, or an understanding of those things? Because typically, if you can't paint that whole picture, there's going to be spots that are missing. If you can't speak to the terminology that they're speaking to, ask them to break it down in the layman's terms. And the other sad part is a lot of people are able to speak, but not able to break it down and simplify it. And that's what you're going to need. So learning the information, again, resources like myself and what we're doing here at EDI Support LLC, by the things that we're putting out there, we're trying to help you understand what the jargon is, understand what those acronyms mean, and simplifying it. Because EDI can be learned over time, whereas, learning, I don't know, how to build a house. Again, and I'm not downplaying it, but there's a certain routine and a rhyme and a reason to where you put your studs, where you do your trusses, where you do all these things. When it comes to EDI, there's outside factors, there's outside things that you need to learn. And especially when you're learning on a different platform or a different use of things. So there's a gap, as I say, between platform training and real EDI, real world use in EDI. See, even I get stuck on some of the stuff that I type up and try to remember to say. So as you're going through and you're looking at things and you're going, okay, what's that gap between the platform training and the real world use? Well, does a platform training teach you how an SDQ works? Does a platform training teach you cross-docking? Does it teach you all of those different things? Does it teach you the business process? No. A lot of times they're just teaching you, this is where you can see your trading partners. Here's where you can see communication. Here's where you can look at your orders for the day. Here's where you can look at your claims. Here's how you can do all these different things. So that's where you're looking at things. How you doing, Ganesh? Thank you for joining in and watching. So you're learning these things outside of the platform that aren't a part of that platform training because they're not training you on overall EDI, overall API, overall trade accounts, overall these different things. So if you don't even understand how business works and how your orders flow in your organization, how are you going to figure out EDI, which is the automated? So there's different pieces that you have to learn on your own. And again, it's not going to happen overnight. So you want to take that time. You want to figure out what don't you know, what do you know? What are you looking to accomplish with the EDI system? So there's lack of cross-functional understanding, where the IT versus the operations versus compliance. You have to pull those people together, and sometimes those people is just one person. It's a warehouse person that is taking order, putting it in a box, putting a label on it, doing the EDI to make sure that things are sent out. Along with that, making sure that everybody's good with what's going on from a compliancy standpoint. Hey, did we get these documents out on time? Did we get the package over to UPS on time? All of those different things. There's a lot of moving parts that are going on. So sit down with the team and outline it. And those are things that you're not going to be taught by your EDI provider or the platform supplier. They're typically going to teach you the generics of the system. You want somebody that's going to teach you on your system, how you're going to use it, because guess what? Most individuals are not an EDI consultant that needs to know other aspects, other systems, how others utilize it. People that are on my team, even myself, I can't snap my fingers and all of a sudden become an EDI consultant knowing everything, and I still don't. But I've seen a lot of different things. So, and that took years. It's not something that happens overnight. So when you're looking at those post-go live pain points, you're going to see file errors and failed transmissions. You're going to see trading partner specific quirks no one warned you about. You're going to see ERP to EDI miscommunications. You're going to see data not flowing correctly or things that were missed when you're integrating with Acumatica, NetSuite, Salesforce, whatever you're doing your integrations with. There's going to be difficulty troubleshooting without enough internal expertise. So where do you lie? You go back to your provider, you find an organization or a consultant or whatever you can to ramp up. Because sometimes you have lack of visibility into the data flow. It's that wizard behind the curtain. And you want to know what's behind the curtain. Because if you know what's behind the curtain and you know what's going on, you can answer a lot of your own questions or questions that trading partners have. So when you're looking at training new EDI teams, what do I feel works? Role-based training. Who needs to know what? Because sometimes everybody doesn't need to know every piece. Let's focus on your internal piece and where your piece is in the process. Are you to get the data into the ERP? Are you the person that gets the data out of the WMS? Are you the person that processes and prints orders? Look at that. Next thing, shadow with other people that learn their roles. Have a sandbox. Use simulated test runs. Do those things to help you. Again, this doesn't just happen overnight. You have to go through this process to ramp yourself up and your team up. And utilize documentation that actually helps. Checklists, flowcharts, alert protocols, understanding when things should be, hey, here's the issue, here's the error, and looking into those things. And again, if a lot of these things that I'm throwing at you, if they seem overly complex, it is complex, but not when you're dealing with somebody helping you that's done it before. That's been in the trenches, that's been in your position, that's learned it from the bumps, the bruises, and headaches, and all of those things. So it's about building internal confidence, and creating the internal champions and go-to experts. The people that you can rely on, that are a part of your team, whether it's yourself or it's you as a collective, whatever that looks like. And then understanding when to bring in outside help versus in-house. Like everybody, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't spend the money on a consultant. I can tell you, hey, yeah, we're $200 an hour, 15-minute increments. Sounds like a lot of money. But it's not when, if you look at it and maybe you spend $1,000, $2,000 with us a month, and you didn't have to bring on a full-time staff person that you're paying benefits to. So sometimes it makes sense to outsource. Sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on what situation you're sitting in. And you have to figure that out or utilize somebody to help you figure it out. You have to do those setting of the realistic expectations for response times and troubleshooting. Just because you want immediate response times, are you immediate? Do you immediately look at and answer phone calls? Look internal. If it's stuff that you can't even do, but yet you want an external team to meet those marks, that's an issue. That's why our SLA is typically, we'll respond by human within 2 hours or less. It's a goal of ours. And we'll try to get you fixed for whatever issue you're having in 24 hours or less. And sometimes it extends past that. But we're putting our best foot forward to help you. I'm not telling you somebody's answering the phones. If somebody was answering the phones, I'd have a bunch of people just sitting around twiddling their thumbs waiting for phone calls. I had a client say that to me. Well, you should be available as soon as I call you. I should? So you're going to pay me 24/7? Think about that. Put things into reality. What's a realistic thing? Now, is it realistic to say that I'm going to respond to you, hopefully, in 48 hours? Just respond to you? That's not realistic. EDI doesn't work that way. API integrations don't work that way. You need more of a response than that. So the best practices to flatten the learning curve is phased rollout versus a big bang implementation. So if you can do a phased rollout, do it all day long. Take one trading partner, 5 trading partners, take whatever it looks like for your EDI and do it in smaller bites instead of doing it all at once. It's that rule of thumb. How easy is it to eat a whale? One bite at a time. So you want to set up for proactive monitoring. Don't wait for things to break. You want the system to tell you when something happens so that you can jump in there, get it fixed. Do the things, get them fixed before it gets off to your trading partner. Because if it gets off to your trading partner with an issue that should have been caught by your system, you're going to start to get headaches because your trading partner is not going to like it. You want to create an EDI playbook for your company. Document it. Store your maps. Store your customers. Do contacts. Do all of those things that involve your full EDI system. Because you want to do that. Now, I can tell you just from our own research, can you find a CRM that has all that, that's focused on EDI? No. Can I also let you in on a little secret? That's why we built our own. I call it the wonderful name of EDI inventory. It's rudimentary, but guess what? It's able to store our documents. It's able to store our trading partners. It's able to store our contacts. It's able to store all of those things. And it's ever evolving to help us keep an understanding of a project and an implementation that's been put in place for a particular customer. Now, is this something that's homegrown? It's something that we've been working on for a little while? Yes. Has it taken a while? Yes. Is it perfect? No. Does it do what most systems would need to be highly customized to do? Yes. And it's something, just a little hint, something I'm hoping in time I might roll out to the general public. So that's a little drop of a little nugget there for you. So the value of the post-implementation health checks, you want to make sure that you're doing that. Check in, do those things. What a good EDI support should look like. There's red flags. Just watch with the current provider. If they're not getting back to you in time, they're not doing the things that you want them to do in the time that you need it done, it's a red flag. Remember, you're paying them. They're not paying you. So you should have questions for your provider. You should be asking them about things. You should be asking them about how quick they get back to you, how quick they resolve things. Is the system that they put in place, is it customizable to you and how you operate? Or does that take a lot of work? Is your provider asking you questions? They asking you about how you process things, how you handle things, delving into a lot of questions about you and your organization and what you are doing. It's a two-way street. They shouldn't just be yes, 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 just to get the deal done. So you always want to advocate for deeper support and training. You want to ask for it. You want to ask what level they provide, and have some online backups, have some video documentation, have those things to help you navigate the system. And if they don't have that, ask them if they can provide it, or build out your own repository based off of the information that they're sharing with you. You know, one of the things that we do is we do videos. If a client needs a help, we'll give them an actual video walkthrough, we'll record it, and then we'll send it to them. They can build out their own repository. Some clients don't want it, some clients do, some clients have asked for it. So we try to do as much as we can through documentation, not only through documents online, but also through videos. A lot of people learn through walkthrough videos of their particular system. It helps them. So anyways, I hope that I've helped you with some of the, the learning curves and the things that you need to do. There's resources that are out there. Again, you can check out our Discord server for free information. You can check out YouTube. You can jump on Reddit. You can jump on LinkedIn. You can hop into, there's companies out there that do certifications in EDI. Now they're more generic. They're not built for you, but they can help you. One of those companies and one of those organizations, EDI Academy, we're not affiliated with them, just letting you know. But EDI Academy, I hear a lot of people talk about it. And there's a lot of different things that are out there. There's books actually on Amazon. There's ways that you can go about on like Udemy to learn EDI. Search it up, look it up, reach out, and I can provide you some more resources. Again, this is Jim Gonzalez with EDI Support LLC. I hope I've provided you some valuable information, some things to think about. I don't know it all, but I can help to assist, to alleviate as much as possible. So again, don't hesitate to reach out, comment, like our stuff, hit the little bell icon to be notified, follow us, do all of those things, because we're just trying to help spread the knowledge and spread the wealth of information. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week and a great day, and I will talk to you again.
Elevate your business today with EDI that cares.